The divine within me recognizes the divine within you. Let us practice. So how does one create healthy mind in order to create a habitat for these beings? Beyond moving, beyond breathing, what do? I think you need to follow the blueprint of your joy, of the leader within you. Who leads all these different ideas? And what do you end up doing? Especially when you were a child, what did you want to do? And what were the fun things to you? The healthy, fun things that maybe you can still do, right? Adults play pretend, for example. And all these different things that are available to us, whether it's a movement we can gain through yoga practice or a new idea we gain through playing a role-playing game, or a new inspiration found in nature on a hike, or a new walking strategy for effective mountain climbing, breathing strategies, mental clarity. There's so many ways we can find joy, right? And joy is what brings us into a state of healthy mind. And there's many things to distract us from this, right? Because there's this joy is like, what I'm referring to is like fullness and contentment and wholeness, where it radiates from within you and it nourishes you, and you feel the joy like, I'm complete, is the final word, right? And we talk about partialities, and I think a big thing in the scientific and the religious and the atheist and these different camps, they're just like looking at a piece of the pie, right? So we want to be completionists. We want to be whole and holy, because there's a lot of space behind us and before us and above us and below us, and we want to cover all that space with this light, this light that sustains our protection. Because in theory, and I believe this theory, that with this skill, if I start developing this skill of hermetically protecting myself through healthy mind, right, it's inevitably going to lead me into invincibility, immortality, in a literal physical sense, if I so choose, if that's appropriate. Because right now, if there was a physical let's say there was a lightning bolt, right, or something greater than that, a meteor, just keep going up the scale, whatever the physical matter is coming down at you, this is your simulation, this is your creation, and what you believe does come into fruition. Even if there's a really high potential that it's going to crush you, it's like that potential is something where it's not a game of chance, right? It's only a game of chance when you're not aware of it. It's a game of skill, and when you understand how to manipulate the chance, then you win. And the reason we don't all just know this is because we're playing this game where we've forgotten. And that's this we're in this uncovering. There's a stage where we know everything and we start forgetting, like the Lemurians did, and the Atlant, or maybe let's say the Lemurians, and then different societies did it in smaller cycles where you gain and then you lose. So it's like, I know everything, I'm losing my connection to source. But then we've been so low for so long, and now it swings back the other way. We're gaining our connection to source. And I think religion and science, they served a purpose. It's like there was somebody threw a grappling hook up onto source, and they got a little hold and they started climbing, but then they faltered. But because they had gotten high enough, now my kind, who understands this reality the way we understand it, and obviously we're all individuals, but there is a collective here, a clear collective where we feel togetherness in our ideas, where we share idea space, where we are open to each other's ideas, we'll say. And that's the key, right? Because I don't really disagree with any scientific or religious ideas unless they say that this is the only way, because there are many ways, and that goes beyond just a fancy idea. That's like, there are many literal ways to go into the past or to go into the future. Just like the future, the past has many different possibilities. So let's imagine right now. So what is this ability of imagining that human beings can do? Can anybody else do this? We're imagining a time or a space, a time space, where all is completely at one with itself, with the universe, the shadows assimilated, all is functioning as it should. There's complete freshness and newness and knowingness and completion. The world card, fulfillment. Now think of a time in your life you felt this feeling. Take your time and choose a time. Let it surface naturally where you felt fulfilled. Now hold on to that feeling. Make it as real as possible. Open your eyes if you've shut them as I did. And welcome back, Marty. You've done it. The DeLorean was successful, right? The flux capacitor worked. We went back in time and we gained all the fulfillment. And we felt it real, and we brought it into our body right now, and the cells are nourished, right? What does that tell us? So we're living in this world, and it's important that we're grounded into this world so we can deal with the issues of this world, right? And what are the issues of this world? Well, we need more love, we need more satisfaction, we need less distraction, we need more completion. There were times in the past that are coming to light now where there was such a unity of mind and spirit and heart with the Creator, the source, right? That's available to us now as we become aware of the current, present day magic that's hidden within our consciousness or our scientific potency that's been being proved by experimental evidence of our consciousness. And it's not really a secret, but if you can't digest something, like Plato said it, everybody said it, but if you can't digest it, then it just stays on the table, or you'll find it afterwards, right? In order to digest light, you need to let go of heaviness. You need to let go, you need to let go. So you keep on moving, right? And you find degrees where any place that's stiff, you think, if I stay stiff here, I'll look good. If I stay stiff here, I'll be disciplined. No. You need to be able to move every space, or else being stiff there is no feat at all. It's just it's a handicap. You're only stiff because you have to be. But if you can be stiff and you can be fluid, see, opening up every little spot of your body is important. You have these ribs, you have this back, you have this shoulder, you have this arm, and it opens in all different ways, right? When you synchronize the movements on the two sides, then you experience the duality coming into one over here in your brain, essentially, where your brain has these, especially women, that's why they love the yoga, they have these interconnected lobes of their brain where they can integrate the spirit and the matter. And of course the magic is that's the key. So if you develop this web, you can use yoga. A lot of people will say, well, I'm a Wiccan and I do chanting of repeating English and so forth, and then I call on goddesses and gods and draw pictures and so forth, light candles and do meditations that way. And then there's others who say, well, I connect to yoga or Tai Chi, or I don't have any problem with any of these things. I think if you have a problem with one of these things and not the other things, you're up on the mountaintop saying, I made it, and then you're cutting other people's ropes because you didn't make it that way. But what I'm here to tell you is that those people's ropes that you're cutting, that's your brother and your sister, even if you don't know it yet. And they're actually closer than a brother. They're like you. So when you move your body, your mind's gonna free up, and there's gonna be little pieces that come out. You have to drink lots of water, which I have somewhere, not in here, and you're gonna have to breathe lots of air out. Accustom yourself to breathing air out. A lot of people are used to breathing air in. Take a deep breath. Took a deep breath, but they're still holding on to the air, and it gets stagnant. So a lot of people have a really good idea. This is such a great idea. And they run with it, but they don't refine it, right? They don't let go of any of that idea. And every moment's a gift, right? But as an advanced human, these moments can accumulate and become refined instead of just piling up into something unusable, and then you got to toss it and start over. And how do we refine this? You got to let go of your breath. Empty. Use your abdomen to push the air out and feel emptiness for a moment. So in that emptiness of your breath, even if it's for 2 seconds, especially at first, that's the place where creation happens. And what we're creating here today is eidolons or guardian angels or fairy godmothers and so forth that are gonna surround us. Dragons. They're all benevolent beings, and even if they're scary looking and demonic looking, what they are is their love that would never harm anything else. They only take away illusions and falseness and things that would hurt you because they're not actual. The actual things don't hurt you because your actuality is actually infinity and it's immortality. And that's the secret, right? Because we identify with the mortal. So we say, how do we find immortality? It's to identify with the immortal. And that happens through fulfilling your life's purpose, because you're here for a reason. So you're in a simulation where the cookie is to be back into the source where everything's complete. So you have to take a little incompleteness and make it complete, and then you'll return back to completeness and be replenished, just like a day's work, right? You go to bed and then you feel replenished. And you don't understand what's gonna be so great about sleeping in the day until you're tired, and then you're like, okay, we gotta get to bed. And it feels really good, even though you don't necessarily feel it, right? Because you're identifying with your mortality. And let's instead of identifying with our mortality, let's take a moment to look at it. This is my body. This is my brain. This is my mouth that speaks, that you're hearing. We're connecting, right? This is temporary. This way of connecting is temporary. I'm very grateful that you can hear me right now. I'm very grateful that you might comment below and I can read your thoughts, or if you did any of that other good stuff, right? That a podcast would do, or, if you supported me in some way, like, that would be amazing. I'm not saying you will, but the point is that we all have these opportunities to support each other in this magical way, even though we don't understand the magic. Like, you and I don't know how to build a computer, nor do we know how to, myself anyway, do not know how to easily telepathically communicate as well as you could on a telephone with any person on earth. But I know that's my birthright, and I know that's within me, and I'm here to discover it with you. So collectively, I'm here to help us clear this field, right? So we're using our breath, we're using our movement, right? We're tapping into our true identity. So if you breathe in the sound Sat, Sanskrit, Sat, and exhale the sound Nam, or you could chant Satanama, which means I am that truth, is my best meaning. I am my true identity. I identify with the truth within myself that is eternal, that is immortal, that is glorious, beyond all words. Thank you for sharing this moment with me, and I hope there are many more for us to share together. And I offer my blessings to you, and may your awakening be pleasant, sustained, and true to you, so mote it be.